Okay, so my computer says that I'm live, but hello everyone, for whoever is there. If you can hear me, please let me know in the comments, because I want to make sure that this time, we had this happen before, that the sound wasn't working. So let me know if the sound is working, okay? In the meantime, I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to put my mouse a little bit away. And I'm going to say hi while I'm waiting for, of course, the somebody to confirm that it's working. Okay. Nobody's saying anything. This is awkward. Or maybe the delay I have. Okay, hi. Yes, we can hear you. Okay, cool. Yay! Welcome to my stream. Hi, Johan. Hi, Marlena. And everybody else that is watching. Hi. I am just hoping that today we're going to have fun. And what am I going to have fun with? I bought this gouache set. So I've been wanting to do gouache since like forever. But I always was a little bit scared of it. I'm also learning watercolor, so yeah, trying a new medium is quite scary. Why did I want to learn gouache? Because I always had this in mind, the Miyazaki scenes and so on. I kind of looked around, and of course you can go all wild and buy the really expensive gouache. But I'm not gonna do that because I'm not crazy. I just wanna paint something pretty and see if it works. I heard that it's a different thing. I did. I heard that it is a different thing than watercolors, because you have to work. You have to work in layer like watercolors, but you can, layer on top colors, and the opacity will help. So, never worked with gouache. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, okay? That should be enough for me to do something, but I don't know. I have never tried it. This particular gouache, I heard that it is something called jelly gouache. So I don't know why it's called jelly gouache. I didn't research it actually. But it comes in this box. And let's first think about the box. In all the YouTube videos that I saw, I thought the box is going to be much bigger. It's not. Look at this. It's 1 palm and a little bit. It's not that big. So, yeah, that was the first thing. This is the 18 color, and I bought the 18 color and not the 12 because it has 2 buckets of white. That's the only reason. This color seemed like the only color that wouldn't give me a headache while looking at it, because the other ones are very neon-y. So, this is what it is. I guess you can use the lid as a palette, but I'm not gonna do that. It has an inner tiny palette where you can actually mix colors and do stuff. And we're gonna use this one. They're not opened, so out of the bat, yeah, we just need to open it. Before I do that, however, I wanted to show you guys the brushes, because I didn't want to use my watercolor brushes, because my watercolor brushes are expensive, and I am not going to use that one as the first tryout of jelly gouache. So I bought this set together with my jelly gouache. It's from Art Supplies. They were a cheap version, cheap brushes, but apparently with good reviews. So even if I just end up using them one time, it's okay. I didn't spend that much money. They have all types of brushes, like including flat brushes. What I do notice is that some of them are losing their hairs, but let's see. And I'm going to choose just a few of them. So I'm going to choose this one, the number 1 liner brush. I'm going to choose the Filbert, which is kind of a flat brush but rounded. I'm gonna choose the real round brush, and I'm gonna choose the number 1, as in the tiniest one here. The rest, well, I don't really need them, so it's okay. Now with that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and unbox them. I'm using my craft mat because I know I'm gonna get messy, and I know I'm going to make a mess, and I didn't want to make a mess on the table. table, like yeah, it's going to be hard to get this gouache out of the table. So if you can, to protect your things, please protect it. What I do notice is that they're all kind of butting to each other, so yeah, you're gonna have to take them out. I thought that the buckets are gonna be bigger. They're not as big as I thought they are. It's only 30 milliliters, but I'm sure it will last you a long time, right? But just putting it out there. So I'm going to just start taking out the, it starts with the red, and let's see how it is easy to peel. Maybe actually the first color part I'm going to use whatever is on the, okay, I'm going to just keep it here. Hope you can see. Wow, there's a lot of color. I'm going to use I already made a mess. You see, I knew I'm going to make a mess. My hands are just terrible. Okay, I was just planning to take the craft knife and scrape this one. I mean, no color goes to waste here, I would assume. So let's do that. And I knew I'm going to make a mess. You might wonder, Claudia, why are you trying out stuff on a live stream for the first time? Just because I thought it was fun, and just because during the live stream is the time when I actually have actual time to work on some of this stuff, because I during the week not always have the time. So I'm gonna use thing to clean. I'm gonna, this remaining paint that I have, I'm dipping my fingers in paint. This remaining paint I'm gonna have is, I'm going to use this one to actually swatch. So it's okay. Okay, let's see how fast I can go. This is purple. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If this was a purple in watercolor that I had to buy, I wouldn't buy it. Oh no, I'm making a mess again. This is messy. You see why you need this? You need this because otherwise it's gonna be a mess. Can you imagine me dropping this on the table? Okay. It's okay. Okay. Me and I never liked mess. Just me and messy watercolors. Can you imagine me doing that and liking that? I just never did. Okay, just let's take it one step at a time. Let's see the next one. So purple sounds quite nice. Let's see the yellow. This is a yellow. Sounds like a pretty bright yellow. So let's see what we get. Okay. I have this for a couple of weeks, right? So I didn't necessarily, yeah, I think I'm not even going to bother with that one. I'm just gonna use it to scrape things and to swatch it. Okay. 18 colors. This is kind of a blue. Let's see. Oh, this was not as, you see, this is looking much more jelly. It didn't have that much. I hope it's not dried out. Okay. I'm hoping that some of them, I don't even know like how these are going to work out. This is a different type of blue. Ooh. This is a nicer type of blue. Cannot wait to swatch them. Okay, and this is, I'm hoping, maybe it's black. The funny part on the thing is it doesn't say what colors they are on the buckets. Yeah, it's black. Ooh. I'm going to make such a mess here. Okay. Let me see. The first row. Let's do a swatching on the first row. See if it's any good. Okay, I'm hoping that people can see here. Yeah, this is my, by the way, this is a watercolor sketchbook. This is the hahnemuhle sketchbook. I stopped using this one for watercolor because that just doesn't work with watercolor. It's just really bad. So I stopped using it, but I thought the paper is thick, so it could work with gouache. So hello, Florine! Welcome to our tryout of today. So I wetted my brush just like I would any watercolor brush. So I'm just scraping the color of the backing. And let's see how long does this color last me. Okay, I'm just going to try. Okay, it does dry out towards the end, so it loses coverage, but the red is pretty. Let me see if I dip my brush into water. Oh, okay, still works. If I dip my brush into water, I can pull the color. Okay. This way we will see how fast. Okay, there's quite some paint left on the brush because I took quite a lot. So I guess you can say, okay, smooth. Let's see how well the brush gets clean. Oh no, the brush still has red on it. I'm hoping it doesn't get transferred to the next color. Okay, let's see. This is a purple, so we're gonna try the purple. For those of you who are like gouache gurus, let me know how you do it with gouache so that you don't have a messy problem like me. I mean, I don't know. I just hate the mess. I think I had way too much confidence in me that I was able to make awesome artwork with gouache from the first time. If I can't even make a smooth gradient here with just the paint and the brush. Wow, like I think way too highly of myself on this one. Like what? Okay, scary and messy, and I hate mess. Okay, the yellow had lots of yellow, so I took quite a lot on the brush, so I'm not sure if this is what we're supposed to be doing. It's quite thick, so maybe the brush should have lesser color when I pick it up. The yellow is pretty, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do everything in the same direction or not. Okay, I'm gonna try to do the brush. Let me see if I have a piece of things where or not. Oh man, I was right of not using my watercolor brushes with the gouache, because the gouache just doesn't want to get out of the brush. Trust me, it's really bad. I would have ruined my watercolor brushes, to be honest. It's good that I took these brushes. I think you should have brushes that are only for gouache, and that's it. I don't think we should mix and match. Okay, let's go to the second row. Wow, this is a blue. This is a blue. Okay, what I read is that in the past, the only people, the problem with gouache is it's not light fast at all. And the only people using gouache were people that are in the fashion industry, because they used to use gouache to draw, you know, those fancy poses and the fancy everything. That is because anyway they didn't have to hold the paintings for long, and it was easy for them to just sketch, right? It is kind of it is a mix of watercolor with acrylic, and acrylic, yeah, it has a very long drying time. According to this, gouache should have a way lower drying time. I took way too much on the brush. Let's see. This is the other blue. Oh, it's more of an indigo blue. Okay, that's cool. That's a cool blue. I'm wondering how it looks like. So that's why the fashion industry was using gouache. I do remember when I was younger, I had a friend of mine that was using gouache a lot. And they were like really cheaper gouaches, but she could do a lot of crazy stuff with it. So that's when I know this, but I wasn't sure whether the gouache is something I wanted to try. So we'll see. We'll see. The problem I have with watercolors is that it is quite hard sometimes to get the desired opacity of things and to get the things to pop out of your page. Okay, this is definitely black, and I know that we're gonna use black a lot. I'm curious to know how things work with black. I'm not gonna try any fancy stuff. My goodness. Just to clean the brush requires a lot of effort, because the paint really goes into the bristles. Okay. What should I do with these ones? I'm going to put them aside, and I'm going to put them... I'm gonna try not to make a mess on my table, because I wanna unbox the other ones. Okay. I'm going to use these ones later on. We'll see how that works. It might be that I just decide not to use them. Yeah, better not to use them. I'm just going to not be skimpy. I mean, the stuffies are quite big on paint, so I'm just gonna throw them away. I can take always paint from within the wells. Okay, so 6 colors. Yes, that's fine. Yeah, I have enough space on this one to try out. Okay, let's go next. How's everybody? This is exciting for me because I never done anything so messy. I hate mess. I hate anything that is not clean, or like a room that is messy, and especially messy things like messy watercolors and so on. It's just it's very hard for me to do this. Okay, I'm going to... This is another red, more like orange than another red. This is orange. I don't even know if the thing is... Oh no, I put my finger in it. Can I cry now? I can cry now. Like one of those kids that doesn't want to get their dress dirty, and I'm like, my hands and everything are super dirty now because of this. I am so not suited for this one. This is gonna be a mess. Okay. I'm hoping that this is only a mess for unboxing this, and it's not gonna be a mess when I'm gonna do it. Oh, okay, this one was pretty much open already. Interesting. I bought these ones on Amazon, and I don't even know how much I paid. Put my finger even more into paint. Why did I do that? Claudia, answer me. Okay. This was around 30 euros, but it took a long time to come. Okay, best kind of mess. Yes, it's a coloring mess. Okay, this is brown, definitely brown. Oh, maybe I need to first take the next one always, so that it's easier to take out. Oh, wow, what is this? Neon yellow. Okay, the next one is neon yellow, and it has a smidge of purple because I touched it. Can you imagine if I'm gonna squeeze? Oh, no. Why the paint is going out? What's going on? And this was like under pressure container. Okay, I'm going to sacrifice my finger and I'm gonna put the paint inside. I'm gonna do this. Look at my fingers. It's like, why? Okay. It looked like it was an under pressure container or something. Okay, I need to be very careful with this one. I am using the water to wash my fingers. Now they're all yellow. You know, watercolors, I thought they were messy, but they're not messy. These are just the messiest things ever. Okay, I cleaned my fingers, kind of, and I'm just gonna pick the other one, and I'm going to put the yellow. Okay, neon yellow, check. Ah, no, not again. I foresee that something terrible is going to happen. I'm going to, let me use the clean water. Finger painting, yes, we're gonna do finger painting with gouache. You know, and I saw people just doing this very nicely and properly, and I'm like super terrible at this. Either they are super strong or they had them already opened and something. Okay, this is another blue. Let's pick up this one. You notice that I'm struggling because I really don't want to touch colors. And this is another brown. Interesting. Why are they in this configuration? I don't know. I'm just gonna stick with the configuration that I was given. Okay. Only 6 remaining, right? And then we can get to the good part of... Okay. It's a brown. Okay. Brown. I'm also afraid of touching in that side because that's my cat's blanket, and I don't want to ruin it. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this with courage. With courage we can do it. Okay, this red. This red, it's pretty much very bright. This is more like burgundy red, and this is like a pyrrole scarlet red kind of thing. What I read is that I'm supposed to use minimal water, so I'm going to try to use minimal water, but I'm not sure how small surfaces is gonna work, to be honest, because I have some drawing here that I wanted to do, but that's gonna be interesting how that's gonna work. Okay, then I think we're going into a kind of a magenta. This was purple, this is gonna be a magenta. No worry, we're having fun watching you. Ah, thank you. Having fun. This is the most interesting. You know, if you were... Okay, this is not so thick as I was expecting it's gonna be. Can you still see? Yes, you can still see. But it's more streaky. So this magenta one is more streaky, and it is a pretty color, but it's much more fluid than the rest. Interesting. You can see how the streaks are forming. This is number 4. Okay. The black is really black, and now they're starting to dry out. I'm just going to touch it. Okay. If you touch it now, it's dry. Oh, this one is not dry. So, okay. Now I see kind of how they dry. Brown. Let's just take brown. And let's see. Okay, this is much more denser, the brown. So this so far has been the only one that's been a bit more fluid and more streaky, the magenta. Don't know what I was expecting. In my mind is, oh, I'm going to be able to draw all these flowers because I watch so many videos. I already know how to do it because I watch videos. Yes, that's... What are you learning from this, dear audience, is that I guess it really comes down to practice. Okay. Neon yellow. This is neon yellow. It really gives me a headache. This one you probably need to mix with other colors, like black or something, or white. There's supposed to be 2 whites in here, so I still haven't gotten to that. Okay, the neon yellow is like the magenta. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Much thinner than the rest. The rest are much thicker. So these 2 thin. You can still see it. Good. Okay. And now this blue I like, to be honest. This blue and the indigo, I'm not particularly any impressed by. Oh yeah, this is a really nice blue. So remember that with gouache, well, what I read is, and what I saw in videos is, you can use gouache as watercolor as well if you dilute it with water. So what I'm doing here is I'm not diluting anything with water. I'm just using it as basically intended, and hopefully will work out fine. Okay, and the last one is gonna be a really dark brown. This was more of a lighter brown, more like sienna, and this is more like an umber brown. And let's see, how does that look? Okay, looks interesting. Will be nice for some trees. And I'm gonna do the simplest ever painting. Just gonna do a leaf wreath. You know what colors I haven't seen so far? Where are the greens? I'm starting to freak out because there's so many other colors, but no greens so far. So I'm going to just put them aside and prepare to just dump these ones because these are way too much mess than what they're worth, the paint on them. So I'm just gonna put them together. Oh look, my mat already had incident here. You see why I didn't want to have my table while I was doing this, because, man, I knew this is going to happen. I am a messy person and not that lucky, okay? Okay, the last row. I probably need to move this one like this. Let's do this. Let's put them to the side, yeah? So that you can see the last rows, I'm hoping. Okay, cool. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, it's another kind of brownish yellowish kind of thingy. Okay, I think it's yellow ochre. Definitely yellow ochre. Oh no, this one is also going out of its container. Why? It probably came by the airplane and it got... Okay. Okay, putting it back, washing my finger into the water. Okay, now let's try this next one. I'm really hoping for some greens, to be honest, by this. Okay, this is white. I wonder if the next one is also white, because I don't want to open both whites. I was thinking already, because this is gonna dry out and I have two whites, so I'm gonna open only one white, and the other one I'm just gonna leave it there, because I'm for sure going to need the white later on. So this is a white. This white, I'm not doing anything with it, and that's gonna be the one that is gonna stay fresh, because I'm going to first use this white and then I'm going to use the rest of the whites. Okay, finally a green. And what is this green? It looks like a tallow green, like a blue green. Not what the green I was expecting, but that saves me from having to mix my own green, to be honest, because I was already planning on mixing a green. Okay, this is another green, which looks like a kind of a... Oh, they look very similar. Okay, this is blue green. This looks like very neony. This looks like a sap green kind of situation here. I'm gonna put it to the side. And this one looks like it's not really olive, but it's very close to olive green. My fingers are just full of color, so I hope you are enjoying yourselves, because this is it's a mess. Okay, we're gonna see what type of greens these are. Again, the white, the extra white that they have. Oh, I put my finger in the paint, of course. The extra white I'm just going to keep sealed. I don't need it right now, and it makes no sense for me to do it. Okay, let's try. So the first one was this yellow ochre, or maybe a raw amber, yellow ochre, raw amber. It's a yellow brown. Okay, let's put it this way. So I hope you guys can see. Yeah, it's a yellow ochre. This is what I know, that with gouache you need to learn how to mix your colors and what colors work well together. I have absolutely no knowledge on that, so we're gonna see what we're gonna see. Okay. It's quite thick. I put a second layer here, trying to figure out how thick I can get it before this whole thing. Okay, then the next one is gonna be the white. Just gonna assume that white is just white and it's not some sort of off-white thingy. White is usually used in gouache to mix all your colors with and make them lighter or mix different shades. You can see that in the white I still have some yellow ochre, but okay. It's not that bad. Okay. I'm noticing that the brushes don't clean very well. So I'm not sure if that's intended or not. And now we're going into the greens. This is like what I call a blue green, and that's because this is how I see it. I see it more towards the blue. You might disagree. More like turquoise. Turquoise, yes, turquoise green. Which is nice because you can mix this turquoise with blue and make it more bluish, like a blue turquoise. Very streaky though. Okay, I wasn't expecting this. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. At least the big of the mess is done, so at least I don't have to worry that much anymore. I tried to really clean my brush. Ah, this green doesn't get out of the brush, man. Okay, 2 greens. This one, which is more like a neony green. I don't know, what does it look like? I keep saying sap green, but I don't know. Sap green, May green. May green from Schminke, yeah. That's definitely something. So 18 colors. They say 18 colors, but theoretically it's only 17 because one of them is an extra white. So yeah, it's misleading to say the least. Looks interesting. Definitely not what I am used to, watercolors, to be transparent and working in layers and all of that stuff. Definitely not that. Okay. And also, I'm not sure I should be putting my brush directly into the pan. I think I need to pick up the colors that I want with a spatula and then mix them. And this is more like olive green. Hooker's green kind of thing. Yeah, it's much warmer. This is definitely not warm green. This is definitely much warmer than the other one. Okay. Now, the test of truth is which one of these rows has dried out already. So it doesn't take that long to dry. Already all these ones are dry. These ones are not dry. And I can see that they transform into matte color. What is happening is also they're not necessarily losing their potency when I put them down. So that's good. I'm going to throw all of this away and get rid of the mess. And then we're going to get on with the painting. So I'm going to put this one pretty far away from me. I don't want to see the mess. And I'm going to put the Himi here, the pants, and I'm going to take my palette and I'm going to try to mix. So I don't know if you can see what I have on this page. It's basically a reef, right? And the leaves are pretty much kind of tear shaped with a little bit of oomph in here. That's why I think I'm not gonna use the same brush. I'm just gonna use the tinier brush, the tiniest round brush that I have. And what I did draw with the pencil are some lines. And you probably, oh, hi Andre, hi, you missed the whole me getting dirty here. Okay, this is like some interesting stuff. But I want it with a different color, so that the leaves are a bit lighter in color, and then I come with the darker, and then I will draw some lines with the darkest, right? And then this one should be some little offset stuff. So I'm just gonna try to do that and see how it goes. And the leaves, I wanted to get a blue-green, and then with a little bit of black. So I'm gonna use this green that is here with some blue, like this blue, and then I'm gonna put some white on the palette to mix some stuff and then make them lighter, and then I'm going to put some black to make it darker. Let's see how it goes. And then for the things, it's gonna be just red. So I'm gonna try some red. And this is gonna be my first ever gouache anything. So in my mind it works. In my mind I'm already visualizing everything. This is the liner brush. This I have to use at the end. It doesn't mean that it's going to work in real, right? So it's gonna be fun. Okay, this is the number 1 brush. Now the question is this going to work actually? Is this going to be interesting enough? Or do I need to use the number round 6? The funny part in this set is you have a number 1 and a number 6, and that's kind of it. So not much in between. Look at this one. This is humongous. Okay, I'm gonna have to try it. Okay, what I think I need to do is I need to get rid of this dirty water. Look at how dirty it is. And I'm going to need to get some new water. So apologies if I'm moving around. I have a bucket here with clean water, and I'm just going to put some clean water here. Okay, otherwise I might impact some stuff. Okay, so what's the first step? What I saw other people do, and in my mind it seemed very logical, is they take with the palette knife stuff, and let's see how that works. Yep. So I took the blue green. I'm taking this blue, and they put it next to it. Yep. And I'm erasing stuff from my palette knife in the meantime. And then I'm going to take some white, put here. There we go. I think I'm using way too much paint, way more than what is needed, but it's my first time, so I have no idea. I'm thinking it should be fine. Yep, definitely used too much. So let's get to mixing some colors, and I have another piece of watercolor where I'm going to test the colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop a little bit of this here. I'm gonna scoop a little bit of this here, and I'm gonna mix them. See what we came up with. So I'm mixing blue with green, and to be honest, the blue is winning. Okay, I didn't do much. That didn't do much. So let's scoop some more. Let's scoop some more, and let's scoop much more of this, the green. Let's see. I'm not sure how. Okay, so now this blue gets more into towards the green, so it really goes more towards the turquoise. which is good. I think I need way more green. The blue is strong. Yeah, this is the good one. Okay. I'm not sure how I can... I don't want to lose this color. Anyway, I'll pick some white here. You see how it gets dirty, the white? And I'm going to mix some white in this side to see how light I can get this. I'm just playing around with colors, huh? Don't mind me. Okay, I think I put way too much white. Okay. We're gonna go with it. We're just going to go with it. Okay, so have no fear what can go wrong. You're in your sketchbook, okay? So I added the green and the blue. I added more green than the blue, and then I added white, which I went a little bit too heavy-handed. But it is what it is, so we're just gonna have to live with it. Because I think maybe I should have used the same brush as I was going to use for the painting, but I used this one and I don't want to lose the colors that I mixed here. Maybe I should have mixed with a palette or something. Anyway, I'm just gonna go for it. Right? What's the worst thing that can happen? Okay. Because then I can always take more darker colors, right? Make it more dark. Okay. I'm gonna start painting. So this is where this weird brush is, and I'm just going to add water, to be honest. I don't know how much water I'm supposed to add to all of this, but I'm just assuming a little bit of water to make it more malleable. Okay. This is the interesting part, the drawing. So this is the first leaf, and this is the first layer. So I'm just going to assume this is okay. What I don't like is it's not smooth as I wanted it. So I wonder if, oh, this brush, why does it have such long hairs? Jeez. This is what you get from using a cheapo brush. Don't be a cheapo like me, ladies and gentlemen. This brush needs to be trimmed. Okay. Yeah. Trimmed. And I see that it's way too big for what I had in mind. Okay. I guess with brush I need to learn a new level of brush control that I never had before. Okay. Let me know in the comments what do you think, but I'm thinking I was way too optimistic about this, about my ability to immediately work with gouache. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit more water. I'm not making it super watery, I'm just really trying to figure out what's the right amount of water for this. Okay, so I'm trying to use the side of the brush to, okay, if I use more water, what happens is that it becomes much more fluid, which in a way is very good. It's still pretty opaque, so I didn't go all the way, but I'm thinking I get cleaner edges this way. Okay. Let's see how far I can take this. Like I said, I think I put way too much color on the for mixing. I think this requires really only minimal mixing. And I even tried to do this as the simplest thing. I was watching online a tutorial and they were saying like, oh yeah, maybe the first attempt that you should do is to make just some simple doodles and some simple shapes. And I was like, yeah, sure, I can try harder. I can do more interesting stuff. Don't listen to me. Trust me. I'm not the best person to teach you about gouache. But to be honest, I saw some artwork that was pretty amazing. There were some Studio Ghibli scenes done, and man, I think I wanted to know how to do that. So this is what I'm gonna work towards. And some of you might ask, but Claudia, is it worth it because you are in the process of learning watercolor? Is it worth it to try out gouache now because you're not very well with watercolor? I think it is. I think sometimes I need to get myself out of the head of watercolor because sometimes I'm just stuck in those ideas, and just try something new. As long as it's not super expensive, then I can try it. Okay. I haven't added any more water, so I'm still working with the same amount of water, and I'm still picking up things from my palette. I'm going to add other layers and more darker colors afterwards, okay? So bear with me. I'm trying to be very careful, and this is literally my first gouache. I should have tried an apple or something. Why did I try this? Don't know. Okay. It still is giving me streaks, but that's probably because I'm not using the correct brush for this type of things. I think I should be using a round brush, but this is a difficult shape. I should have just done simple leaves, not this weird shaped leaves. But well, we can't go back now, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. Okay. Do you guys wanna try gouache? That's the question I have. And if so, would you go for like the designer gouache first time, or would you go like with a cheap version like this? I'm just assuming that this is okay. From mixing purposes, it's okay. I'm not sure if designer gouache will be lesser streaky than this, right? It could be that it is lesser streaky. Who knows? Okay. I'm just gonna have to try to speed things up. See how, if I speed things up, if I can control the paint. I wanna see how much I can push it. Yeah, definitely more water helps with the streakiness. Lesser water, yeah, it dries out. That should be fine. So I already did this part. Let's do some more. I'm just gonna pull some more color. The mixing part seems okay, as in the mixing palette, because it doesn't pull or anything. A lot of palettes on watercolor, they're pulling, and by pulling means that the paint just congregates together into one spot, which is never nice because you never have enough paint then. This seems to be okay. Okay, I'm just dipping the brush in water. I'm not adding way more water than what it is. I'm just basically wetting it a little bit. And I learned through the power of the internet, right? I learned that it's okay. The first layer always will look horrible. So I'm just leaving on the assumption that it's going to look horrible. That is going to be pretty, the first layer. Then we're gonna see the next layer. Okay. And I'm still glad I am doing it on the craft mat. This is a nice mat that you can buy at any craft store or online. It's a plastic mat. It has actually two sides. The other side is black for me, but I didn't use it because I didn't want to create a problem with the white balance, because then it's gonna be black. So what is funny is that on Procreate the gouache brushes are very popular. Everybody uses gouache brushes, but I have to say that in Procreate they work much better. Okay. So some of these leaves I'm gonna make a little bit slightly darker. Some of them are just gonna come with more green, some of them with more blue. So hopefully that will make them more 3D. Currently it's not 3D, but this is how we learn, huh? This is how we go. We need to learn somehow, and instead of me spending hours and hours trying to make everything perfect, and then I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna say, you see how good I am at gouache, I'm going to just be honest with you and say, I'm not very good at this yet, but I'm getting the hang of it. The question I have is, how far can you push it until it starts to become transparent paint? That's gonna be interesting to figure out. For now it's opaque enough. I mean, I see the pencil drawing. You probably don't see it there, but it kind of goes on top of the pencil drawing, so it is opaque enough. Okay, so don't worry about that. Opaqueness is fine, and even with me adding water to it, I'm trying to figure out a way where I can paint the leaf in the least amount of strokes, because if you can paint a leaf in lesser strokes, then you have lesser streakiness. Okay. Just pretend you haven't seen that, okay? Try out more water. Okay. Pretend you haven't seen me dropping the pencil on my paper, okay? I'm just gonna try to pretend it's not there. Me and my perfectness. Like, I just want everything to be super perfect, and I hate that I did that, but okay. Okay. Calm, Claudia, calm, calm. It is supposed to be Zen, right? I'm supposed to be doing this because it's supposed to be super Zen, not because... Okay, I'm gonna try a little bit more water to see if I can get rid of the streakiness. Maybe this is how I can figure out water or not. It's still opaque if I use more water. That actually solved it. So I added a slightly bit more water, so it's not super watery. It's still opaque, but it did solve the streakiness. So, okay, that's good tip, good tip, good tip. Yeah, definitely more water helps. So, tip for whoever is watching this one. Start with no water. Yeah, start with, and then just add slightly more water every time you do another stroke until you find the correct consistency. Florine, don't laugh at me, please. I'm trying my best here. It's like, where they're your famous dots, Johan. Okay, thank you, Johan. They're my famous dots, my pièce de résistance. Okay, so just add a little bit of water, and then you will see when you start to get the desired consistency. I think now finally I got, like, this is really streaky, and only now it starts to really show. Okay, so what I can see is that I can use a fair bit amount of water, but I would not dip my brush entirely. Happy accidents, Bob Ross. Yes, I'm the Bob Ross of things. I think I need to follow some Bob Ross tutorials. Theoretically, it is kind of like acrylic, so theoretically I could follow Bob Ross for gouache. I'm just assuming. So, this is how we do things. This is how we learn. I'm trying to tell myself this, right? I'm trying to convince myself that this is how we learn, and I'm okay, and I'm not bothered by the fact that I just dropped my pencil there. Just keep telling yourself this, Claudia. Keep telling yourself that you're doing fine. You'll be fine. Okay. Okay, I have, I think, one more here. The reason why I'm taking my time as well, because in order for me to add new layers out of all the videos that I watch online about gouache, is that you need to let it dry, otherwise it's not going to be opaque enough and it's not going to cover anything. So I'm just going to, oh, this already dried on the palette. That's interesting. It dries pretty fast. Wasn't expecting that. I'm adding more water to the mix so that it's not at least that dry. I have a tiny one here. The happy accidents. I saw some people online. They were trying to follow a Bob Ross tutorial. That went like that was interesting, because people were like, oh, and now let's do tap 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 tap. I was like, no tapping, no tapping. Okay, now here's what I had in mind. Okay, this is what I had in mind, that I will go and I will just slightly touch the bottom and try to work my way up. So, you know, do some sort of ombre effect, and I'm going to do that with with a blue-green. Okay. Let's see what. Okay, so far it looks very interesting, but just looks like blobs of color. So let's see if we can do anything. I'm just gonna add here the blue-green. Okay. And just gonna add some water to it, to my brush, and let's see if my idea works, because I never tried it before. I don't know. Maybe I need 2 brushes. Okay, at least I can put on top. It looks really bad. Let's see if with this brush I can go in and blend things out. Okay. This other brush is kind of picking up the color, man. Not working. Not what I was expecting that is going to work. Okay. This brush is drying. It looks like it's just picking up the color. You guys noticing this? How are you supposed to blend things together if the brush is picking up the color? It's picking up the color from underneath as well. Jeez. Okay. Not what I was expecting, but let's just work with it. It is dry because I'm touching it, okay? Just haven't figured out how to blend things properly. Maybe I just need an extra of these brushes to just do something. Or maybe you blend with the other color. It's supposed to be there. Sure. Okay. Definitely not working like watercolors. Not what I was expecting. Tell me, gouache gurus, how do you blend things without picking up the color from underneath? Because I have no clue whatsoever. So what I'm seeing is I can put the color on top. It is okay. The color is okay. Maybe I should take another brush that is flat brush or something. Maybe that brush is really bad. So it's like people keep laughing at me. Okay. I'm going to take the number 6 flat shader. Let's see. It's gonna be a dry brush. I'm trying dry brushing it. See if that works. No, that doesn't work. If I just do a smidge of water, will that work? No, it works exactly the same. I'm picking up the color from both. And that could be a result of the paper, right? Could be that this paper is really shitty. This paper could be really shitty as it is shitty for watercolors. And I might have had too much high hopes for it, to be honest. But okay, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it. You know, let's see, almost dry brushing it, at least going into the other direction. Okay. So I think instead of convincing you, lesser water maybe, yes. Instead of convincing you, yeah, maybe this time I need to just go with full force. Instead of convincing you of trying out gouache, I'm just convincing you of not trying gouache, okay? I have the opposite effect on this. Okay. Da, da, da. I'm pretty sure somebody out there in the world already figured this one out and knows what to do, to be honest. And they're just laughing at me right now for trying this and not knowing what to do. Maybe I want too much from gouache. Maybe smooth transitions are not possible. It could be. It could very well be. Smooth transitions are not possible. Who knows? Okay. I had such high hopes that I will be so good. What does that mean? That means, man, that you need practice. You need practice, 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 practice. I don't think it just works like that. There cannot be a person. I refuse to believe that there's a person that all of a sudden has some sort of hidden talent and they will be able to figure these things out just from the first try, to be honest. Let's be realistic here. This is how it goes. It's okay. Bob Ross will be quite okay with it, I'm sure. He'll be like, did you have fun? And I'll be like, no, because it was a mess. I didn't have fun. But theoretically, I do have fun because it's a new medium. Way too less water now. Maybe that's why all the gouache paintings that I see are very rough, because maybe there is not a possibility to smooth things out. Could be. Maybe I'm trying to fix something that many people have tried to fix for years and years and years and they're not able to. And I'm beating myself up here for trying things that just don't work. Okay, this other one. Man, it looks so ugly. Maybe it is too thick, the layer, the first layer, and maybe that's why I'm picking it up. I'm curious in this side whether or not that I can fix that, because that was a lot more watery situation there. So, you know. Oh, this takes way longer than I was expecting, and I had such a nice drawing to try at next. I was such a nice flower, and I had high hopes. I'm going to do this super fast, and everything is gonna be smooth. Yeah, serves me right from doing plans. I'm just gonna do this one first, and then I'm going to do the outline with the rigger brush, and then you guys are going to see how that looks. Okay. I'm wetting the brush, but I'm drying it just to see whether or not this has anything. Definitely not a smooth blend. What I was imagining is going to be like an ombre effect. Okay, it's less noticeable on the ones that I actually used more water. I think you can mix color on the palette. Yes, I could mix the color, but then it will be just one color, right? I just wanted to make it darker on one side and lighter on another. So, don't know. How would you solve this? Okay, now I put way too much water. Or maybe this just needs more work. Okay, it starts to get smoother if I do with a little bit more water and I'm just pulling things. It starts to get better. This is my Johan. Johan, you know best because you've been working with acrylic, right? Isn't gouache kind of like acrylic? How would you do smooth gradients in acrylic then? You can tell us, and then maybe we can apply the same thing for this one. How do I do smooth gradients without picking up the color from underneath? Or is it just like acrylic, when it dries out, it just dries out? Like it could also be that, and then I'm expecting that the gouache reacts the same as acrylic. There is something called an acrylic gouache, so maybe that's why I got confused. Maybe the acrylic gouache doesn't get reactivated with water, but this gouache, what happens is it gets reactivated with water, which kind of behaves exactly like watercolors would. So that's interesting, but not what I was expecting. And maybe that's why these are called jelly gouache and not a different type of gouache. Okay. Definitely on the thinner layers, the ones that I did with more water, I don't pick it up that much. Okay. So far so good. I'm going to have to add a lot more details to them, but that's gonna be just line work. Okay, and I'm gonna go with the liner brush, like really tiny one, and I'm going to use the really blue, and maybe some of the white. How is everybody hanging on here? Because this is like this is interesting, but on the other hand, lesser. Maybe I need a little bit of brown as well. Okay, I forgot about the brown. I should do some umber brown, and I should just do some lines like that. Okay, and the umber brown is here, and I'm just gonna take a little bit because I don't need a lot. Okay, let's. Apparently you can't take a lot of doing that. Okay, let me first try. This is it's called this is the round brush, it's not the rigger. The liner, I wanted the liner, but the liner is, look at this, the liner is 3 times as big as the round brush. Like, how can this be a liner and this one to be the round? Maybe it should have been the other way around. Okay, Johan says, acrylics are less smooth than watercolors. Then you mix the in-between colors on your palette. Okay, it's like, obviously I need to just learn that. I was hoping it will come naturally to me. You know, you see how much faith I have in my own like I think so highly of myself. Okay, I'm just going to try, right? It look, Marlena says, it's very vivid color, super. It looks like a painting in a knife. Splendid. Oh, okay, like, okay, I know what you mean, Marlena. Okay, yeah, indeed, it looks like that because the paintings in with the knives are they're very streaky. Not what I was expecting and not what I necessarily wanted, but you know. Okay, I'm just adding like this kind of brown branches and so on. Right, I'm just going to, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Wait. Blotting paper. Okay. Okay, blotting works. Check. Next. Oh, Valerie. Hi, Valerie. Beautiful. Okay. Hi. Yeah. I'm going to try this. And look, this is a larger one. I feel like I should be singing or something. I don't know why. I think singing. I'm thinking singing will help make this look more pretty than I'm thinking it turns out. And don't worry, we will manage to do this. We will manage to do this. What did I just put my hand in this? How can I be behaving like this? How can this be? Yeah, I think the only reason why I don't like this is because it's so messy. You have to be so careful. I mean, with the watercolors, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't make that much mess. But anyway, let's try to see. Okay. Not bad, not bad. Okay. I'm gonna try to take directly from the palette. And I'm gonna do some red stuff, and then I'm going to take care of all the lines and see what comes out. And which red would it be best? I don't think I should go with this red. I think I should go with a really darker red. Maybe I should put it on my palette. Oh, okay. Maybe I should not put stuff in my mouth. Who knows where they've been. Just a tiny smidgy of ready. Okay. Dun dun dun. And I'm going to use, I'm going to try to make with red this round berries, I would call them, right? This just for the contrast a little bit. It needs to have some contrast. Man, this brush is not made to make round things. It says it's a round brush. It's okay. The red are taking shape. It's okay. Should I do with the blue, or should I mix the blue with a little bit of black? What do you guys say? Because I kind of need all the help I can get here. So let me know, what do you guys think is the best idea? Okay. I'm not giving up, all right? I mean, you see, I'm not giving up. This is going to be a masterpiece. I've decided. Although it looks really bad now. If I say it's a masterpiece, artistic masterpiece, it's going to be an artistic masterpiece, okay? When I'm gonna be long gone and people are going to sell my notebook for very much amount of money, it's going to be because I'm super famous, right? Okay. And this notebook is gonna be worth a lot of money for whoever has it, okay? It's like, oh, look, the first tryout of the gouache artistic master, that was Claudia in the future, right? It's like they're gonna be singing songs about me and stuff. So don't worry. Okay. More red stuff here and here. Just adding some berries here and there. Pretty random, huh? Okay, if anybody just came right now to this live stream, it has been a doozy, I would say. It's been pretty nice, but man, gouache are messy. It's my first time ever trying them. I got super stains everywhere. So yeah, not impressed with gouache. Is it because I'm a clean artist? Is this how they call themselves, clean artists? You know, the people that do not like to make a mess in there. Okay, I think it's enough red dots. Now, did anybody say, should I mix with black, the blue, or not? Let's go for it. Like, we're in trying mode. Which one was the black? That was indigo. This last one was the black. I'm just gonna add a tiny smidgen. Smidge in. You know, I had another palette, another gouache palette, and that was the Arteza one. I haven't even opened it. It's somewhere back there. It's the 60 gouache colors. And I have not yet tried that one because I thought I'm going to get really crazy with 60 colors. Oh my god, the black is so overpowering. Like, I wonder how much blue I need to bring in to make it. Okay, this is really dark. Maybe more blue. I wasn't expecting it to be that dark. Okay, let's say it as it is. Okay, maybe mix the entirety of the blue into the black and see what comes out. It's such a messy thing. Okay, and now it becomes more like denim color. Denim. Okay, this looks like a better color. Let's try it. Worst case, I bright it up with some white. Would it work? Anyway, I need to use what's on my palette, right? I can't let it go to waste. So white has interesting properties. Oh, look how nice it is. Okay, now this looks much better, to be honest. Let's try this. Let's try on top of this. You won't really see this on top. Okay. Now, I think I need to do the darker one. Okay. Allons-y. We are going for it with the darker one. Sorry for those who are waiting for the lighter one. I'm just gonna do some lines. Okay. Let's start. How does this look? Maybe I should do 1 and 1 just to see how it looks like. It's definitely not as smooth, not as small as I thought it's going to be. Okay, I'm going to do this. Yeah, you definitely don't even see that one. Okay, it has to be the darker one. otherwise you won't see. I'm trying it for nothing here. I'm trying to control the brush and to do really tiny brush strokes. In my drawing, it looked much better, to be honest. Like I'm not expecting. I was not expecting this one. Let's see. It's the fact that it's quite thick, and then you end up pressing. Let's see if I go from this other direction. Okay, it really needs to be a lot thinner. This is how we learn, huh? I think this one, now finally I figured it out. So, okay, now I start to figure out. It needs to be a little bit thinner, and I'm not allowed to press at all. So thinner consistency. That means you add a little bit more water. Maybe gouache works better for brush lettering or something, not for this one. Okay. But you never know. So, if I'm correct, what Johan has said there, so he said you mix the in-between color on your palette. So then technically you have to mix the mixing of the colors as well, right? Like a medium color. That's gonna be some getting used to. I'm not used to that one. Okay. We're on the last stretch here, because after I add these lines, this is gonna be, that's it. But I'm starting to get used to it and control the brush stroke. So yeah, this first one's, oh well, not what I was expecting, but this is how we learn, huh? So if you're like me and you don't like messy stuff, I don't think gouache is for you. But if you just want to have fun and try out something new, I advise you to do it. I still need to get used to the fact that it is quite streaky and all, but should be fine. I still want to try it. I still want to give it a try. I still want to try some like a real painting, like one of those Studio Gimli, because maybe gouache is suited for more like landscapes and stuff, and not very detailed illustrations like I'm doing here, right? This is quite detailed, and I'm not sure this is the part where gouache is really good at. Or maybe I'm just kidding myself and I'm not good enough. That could also be. Like, look here, I just stamped my thing on it. Okay, adding a little bit more water. This is the nightmare of having a cheap brush. Your brush is just disintegrating while you're doing. What I think I need to do is choose some of my good watercolor brushes and then just use them only for gouache, because the cheap watercolor brushes, the cheap watercolor ones, they just already disintegrated. Not very sustainable. And I hate having loose hairs in my brushes. That's worse than having paint that doesn't work as it should. So, okay. But how was everybody's week? I'm just hoping that you guys had a fantastic week so far. This is Wednesday today. So we were quite busy at work, but I'm just glad that I have some time to play around with my new colors. I've been waiting with this one for quite a while. I was a bit afraid to try it, and then I just decided to do it during a live stream, because why not? Now, what I heard is that these colors do tend to dry, but if I seal it correctly, it's gonna last me a long time, and that they also tend to be very easy to water down again and mix. So I'll see in the next months whether that's true or not, as I'm going to try more things. I'm going to try a lot more landscapes and, you know, different things. Almost done, you guys. So much thank you for watching till the end. Like, it's almost 2 hours now for my first tryout of gouache. There are some people here on YouTube that make these gouache things seem so easy, and I feel so stupid for having struggled so much. In my mind, watching all of these people, oh, unboxing and trying gouache for the first time, and then they get this perfect, I don't know, artwork, and I'm like, how is that even possible now after I tried it? Like, unless you did at least 30 sketches or at least 30 tryouts to figure out the consistency of the paint and how to blend things, it's impossible to have had that, to be honest. The lies we tell each other. Again, don't get discouraged. If you want to try gouache. Maybe I'm the one lacking talent here, and not not you guys, right? Just saying. Okay, this is the last one I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna try a little bit more of the brown, just to add some lines for this ones. Okay, and that will be the last things I'm doing for this piece. Let me show you afterwards what I was planning. Actually, I was having like great hopes for tonight that I will be able to draw. My drawing was looking so nice. I mean, I spent quite some time. It's a flower, it's a zinnia, and or maybe herbera, I don't know what's the difference between a zinnia and a herbera. I'm just always confused, but so you see what happens if you don't add water, it becomes super streaky. It's really annoying. And then the problem with watercolors is that then you add too much water and then it looks ugly. So neither mediums is a perfect medium. Okay. this is about it for tonight. Some parts I liked, so some parts, especially here, I liked. So where I went really thin on certain parts, and maybe it needed to be not as dark. Overall, it's okay. I learned a lot so far, right? I learned that I should not use so much paint because you can't resurrect this one. And I kind of learned that I need to study a little bit more on how you blend colors and how we do things. I'm actually going to try some stuff now. It's okay. It's a learning experience for me, so I'm still happy I tried it. I wonder if I do a third layer. I was wondering how does that blend? Does that take colors from both? Kind of. Okay. So what I would try in the future is also, I will try also a different paper, not just this one, to see if that works. And then I need to learn different color ratio to water so that I can get the smooth blends. I'm betting that this is the problem. The problem is the water ratio and how thick the first layer is. Okay. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for sticking with me till the end. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, I was supposed to show you guys the other one that I was planning to do. So I had two designs here, and this was the very complicated one that I was planning to do. This is like the zinnia, and I had all these intricate things here, and I'm like, now I'm realizing, yeah, that was a really wishful thinking of my part. But maybe in the future I can do it, okay? Anyway, I'm going to stop the stream now. Thank you so much. Wow, 25 people live. You guys are awesome. I had fun trying these ones. I'm going to just go and really scrub my hands because I hate having paint on my hands. I hate dirty things. And then I'll see you guys next live stream, which is going to be on Sunday, okay? Thank you so much. See you, Florine. See you, Valerie. See you, everybody. Marlena, hugs, and thank you so much for the nice words. Victor and Corina, if you're also there, bye. See you guys later, and thank you. Okay. It's dangerous to turn the page so close to another. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Valerie. You are right. I should not try that because it's going to make a mess. Like that. Let me see, where's the button?